What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to console this season. And then for the OTP side of things, a little shakeup was Tykins. He was subbing for Jay Tyler, who was not able to play. Then we have the Elevate versus Game Over and the Onii-Chaners versus Warm Up. Both of these matches went 2-0 in favor of Elevate and Onii-Chaners. So Onii-Chaners remains undefeated this season. They're 5-0. Elevate continues their dominant role as well. They're 4-1, only losing to Onii-Chaners. So Game Over and Warm Up are making more roster swaps. You know, Warm Up had IQZ play for them this past week. That was their 10th player they've had on their roster this season alone. And Game Over brought in Gate Mystic, and now he's been moved to the coach as they bring in Fiery Impact. So Warm Up is facing Game Over here in week 6. So with Fiery Impact in the lineup, IQZ is going to be in the lineup, expected to be again. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring in an 11th man. They got enough roster players to start a soccer team. So there we go. We have Vexed and Team Viral. Now, Vexed won 2-0, although the first match was a very, very close game. Could have went either way there. It's another week where Yui is playing. This time, Welsh Mania is sitting out again. I think he's on a family trip or something. I know Narc was on vacation, and Yui was stepping in for him for 2 weeks. Now, Welsh has stepped out for 2 weeks. So, Yui, their 6th roster man, playing a lot of time this season. They clinched their HRX spot. So Vex only needed 2 maps this season, or the rest of the season. They could have lost 1-2 the last 2 weeks, and they still would have made it. So that's awesome for them. We got Cryptic versus 8 Happy Battle Cats. Cryptic, by the way, is Kirsty's Hands. They did sign with Team Cryptic, so congratulations to them on that org pickup. 2-0 in favor of Cryptic. Happy Battle Cats lose SoldierBot and Regan. Now, I don't know if they lost Regan. I don't know if Regan left the team. I don't know if Regan was just moved to sub slot, but he did not play for them. And SoldierBot left their team to join Cryptic, so he wanted a better chance at LAN. A lot of people may see this as a strategic move, and I know Happy Battle Cats weren't very happy about this, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So he's Kinessa and Mr. Pickle step in for them. Kirsty's Cryptic. More great play from Kev Falcon and Dovahkiin. They're really leading the charge on that team. SoldierBot also does some very good play this weekend for them as well. But it's really all about Kev Falcon and Dovahkiin really leading the charge there. Yes, you have GC, who is the leader of the team. You know, he's sitting in the back. He's healing his teammates, and he's doing a fantastic job. I think he is the first. He's one of the top in the support categories for some of the league leaders. And in some of them, he's the only North American player. So that's a big ups to him. And then we have Onslaught versus Baldy Bunch, Flashpoint versus YCTG. Both of these asserted dominance by Onslaught and Flashpoint. They both win 2-0 in those matchups. Miracle was back in the lineup, so he didn't have network problems this week apparently. So Tay didn't have to play again. And Baldy Bunch brings in Asclepius to replace Jordan as their support player. And if you don't know who that is, Asclepius was on the Press Y roster with Ari, I Suck at Paladins, which is Sam, Destronite, and Regan as well. So Destronite found a team in the PCL on the PS4 side of things. He's playing for Game Over. Regan found a team. I don't know if he's still on that team that was in Happy Battle Cats. Sam still hasn't found a team. Ari still hasn't found a team. So as Clepius now playing with Baldy Bunch. We'll see if he continues to play with them through week 6. Flashpoint continues their reign, beating YCTG 2-0 in a good fashion as well. I want to note that Good Lad did an amazing job on the Androxus this week. So PS4 played on the new patch 1.6, although Xbox didn't play on it this past week. They will be playing on it here in week 6, so the meta will be shifted for both consoles. So there we go. Cyclone versus Brutal Fissure. Cyclone wins 2-0. The aim settings favored Cyclone's hit scans. Donka, Tito, they can both pull out the hit scans. I know Tito can pull out the Vivian, so can Donka, but he can also pull out the Leanne, some Victor, plays a little bit of Talos as well. So being able to pull out your hit scan dominant champs in having this new aim settings really favored Cyclone. I think this patch is going to help them. Tito, speaking of which, goes up against Atomic AMK in this matchup. Both of them are the top 2 rookies right now performing in the PCL. Atomic AMK was the top rookie, I would say, but now Tito has taken a jump ahead of him after winning against him here. So he kind of outplayed him. Both are blasters. Both are really good players as well. You guys should check them out. And Brutal Fissure was unable to prove that they are the second best team in their region. So Cyclone has asserted their dominance, saying they are the number 2 team. Just falling short to Flashpoint still, and hopefully they can work on that. Moving on to our next thing here is the Onii-Chaners. So obviously everyone should know by now in the scene that Swiper has been banned and can appeal on October 1st, 2019. Now, if you want my opinion on this, here's my opinion on this story. I'm not going to go into details. A lot of us know that Swiper memes a lot of things. He says some things to some people. Some things he shouldn't say, yes. But that goes to say with everybody in this community. Everybody in this community, even myself, have said things that we shouldn't have said before. Okay? We have done things on Twitter, on PlayStation, on Xbox that we shouldn't have done. And some of us realize that. Some of us apologize for our mistakes, and some of us do not. And that's okay, because I've said in the past that this entire community memes 24/7, and that we need to just take a chill pill, step back, and calm ourselves from that. We don't want to turn into the Overwatch community where we're just full of toxicity. We don't want to turn into the Call of Duty community where we're just yelling at each other the entire time and talking bad about everybody. That's not what we want to do. That's not why I started Console Corner. Console Corner was not started to get me big online. Console Corner was not created to cover the scene 24/7. And that's, although that may seem what it does, Console Corner is to grow our community and create a positive community. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's what I've been attempting to do with all of the content I create and all the things that I say to people. This was a bad look on our community, yes, but we will recover from this. Now, the timing does seem a little fishy, and I can understand why people think it was a strategic move by Elevate. If you ask me, I think the first course of action I would have taken if it was me as the victim is I would have blocked this person on Twitter. If it continued after that, I would have reported it to Twitter. They have their own support system as well, so they have that in place for a reason. Now, if it still goes further, that's when I would report it to the admins in the PCL. Now, I understand that the timing was a little fishy. I understand that people have varied opinions on this, and that's fine. That's how all things are. People will have different opinions on most things. So that's all I'm going to say about this. The next thing I'm going to say is that I hope this, I love Swiper, man. I hung out with him at HRX. I've talked with him before. I've had him on the podcast. I've had him on the Console Corner show. I love Swiper. He's a good friend of mine. And I hope that he learns from this and he grows and matures over time. Now, there are two things I want to say about this before I end this discussion. One is that I don't like the wording of the statement that Hi-Rez put out, or Skillshot, sorry. And the reason why is because it says he's been served a 1-year suspension and he is able to appeal on October 1st, 2019. That is not a 1-year suspension. If you get suspended for 1 year, you have the right to appeal within that 1 year. Okay? It's like Tom Brady. Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games, the first 4 games of the season. He was able to appeal before the suspension was to be served. You understand? So essentially, this is a lifetime suspension, and he's able to appeal after 1 year. That's what this is. Okay? All right. The next thing I want to say is that I hope all of you learn a lesson from this, and And right now, I don't think you have, because I've been on Twitter and everything, and everyone's just memeing this situation. Someone says something on Twitter, and then someone says, I feel unsafe now. You should be banned. This is not funny. This is not a joke. This is not a laughing matter. Okay? Now, let's get into what Onii-Chaners' best options are, in my opinion. So I picked out 3 players that I thought would fit into this system perfectly at such a short notice. Considering that they play Elevate on Monday and the winner goes to HRX. So the number one person that I would say fit into this system and work fairly well to replace Swiper. I'm not saying any of these players are better than Swiper, and I'm not saying they're as good as Swiper. I'm not saying they're worse than Swiper either. I'm just saying that they would fit into the current system, okay? The first would be Objection. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, Objection doesn't play the game. Objection retired, although no one can get in contact with him. That's false, okay? He retired, yes, but I believe if you give Objection the truth, which is, hey, Swiper got banned, man, and we're one set away from going to LAN. All we need you to do is play. I truly think he would come out of retirement. Objection has tried 3 times to go to LAN. He has came back from the dead. He's came back from retirement, and he's came back from the shadows to try and go to LAN each time. And I think that he would fit into the system. The reason why is because he can play flanks. I don't know how well he can play Andro, but that's not a problem. I'll tell you why. I don't know how well he can play Eevee or Maeve either, but I'll tell you why. You got Tommy and Atomic Boom. They can play your tanks and your front lines. Okay? You got Tommy and Objection, who can play your snipers and your hit scans. Okay? Then you got Atomic Boom and the other Shutter, who can play your blasters. And then you have the other Shutter and Neil, who can play your supports. Okay? Now, Boom can play your Andro if you need it. He can play your Maeve if you need it. The other Shutter I know is a decent Eevee if you were to draft the Eevee. But here's the thing. You ban Andro, or you take Makoa if the other team gets it. And you draft a Talus or a Lex for Objection. Or you draft a Victor for him. And you guys just win the game. Like, he fits into the system fairly well. I think that is one of your best options for Onii-Chaners. He fits in the system fairly well. And you don't have to change anything up. Maybe 1 or 2 things. But not as bad as you would think. The next person I would think would be Fiery Impact. Because he has the same pros. Only he can play Andro. He can play Eevee. He can play Maeve. He can play Talus. He can play Lex. He can play all these flanks. And you can still keep all the other people on your roster on their roles. He fits into the system. The problem with Fiery Impact is he just got picked up by Game Over, so he's not available anymore. The third choice that came to my mind when I thought about this was Ari from the Press Y Xbox roster. The reason why I thought about him is because not only is he a free agent still, but he has the same pros as well. But he can play Andro and Maeve as well. And he's a nutter on some flanks. So that would be a bonus. The problem with him is, though, he might not have bought a PS4 after he was actively seeking PS4 roster pickups. I don't know if he purchased the PS4. I don't think he did. So that would be the only problem with him, especially short notice. So basically, Objection would be the best option for them in my mind. Now, the fourth option would be to go with someone else in the community, whether they take them from another team, or they get them from free agency, or they bring them over from Xbox, whatever that may be. The problem is they might not be as skilled. They might not be as experienced in the tournament setting or the league setting especially. And they would need to swap roles and mess with their system. With players like Objection, you wouldn't, or Ari, you wouldn't need to mess with your system, your current roster meta that you have. You bring someone who can play the hit scans, bring someone in who can play the flanks, and has been in that position before, and then you'd be okay. Okay. Moving on here to the next thing, we've got Vexed. I just threw that paper down there way too fast. Here we go. Vexed. So Vexed is your second team to qualify for HRX. It's the Xbox EU team. And they played really well this season. They are 5-0. Only had 2 maps taken off of them. One by Radiant in week 4. And one by OTP in week 3. So they played really well. They're the second team to make their LAN, to clinch their LAN spot. This will be Vexed 5th LAN, or most of their 5th LAN. So let's look at the roster here. We got Lexi Zen, Slopodopoulos, Narc, Welshmania, World Edit, and Yui. This will be Yui's first LAN. This will be Narc, Welsh, and World's 5th LAN. They've been to every LAN now. This will be Slop's 2nd LAN and Lexi's 4th LAN. So he only missed Valencia. So they were 5-0, only dropping 2 maps, 1 Radiant, 1 to OTP. They show dominance in their region. At times they were looking a little lackluster, but they were able to pick it up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform at LAN. Congratulations, guys. I'm gonna see you there. So yeah. All right, the NA winner takes all. We got Onslaught versus Team Cryptic, and we've got Onii-Chaners versus Elevate Gaming. This is what you guys wanted to hear. Okay, so I've got some keys to victory for each team. Let's start off with Onslaught versus Team Cryptic. Keys to victory: Skeppy and Coolmat. Give them their comfort champs. Okay, you guys will be on patch 1.6. Are we going to see a Skeppy Andro again? We haven't seen that in a while, but I remember he's a really good Andro. So are we going to see that again because Andro's kind of in the meta with the new aim settings? Remember, they're going to have the aim settings now, and the meta is going to change. The Victor's going to be strong. The Andro is going to be strong. The Talus is going to be strong. Skeppy plays all 3 of those. Cool Matt can play the Victor as well. Both of them can play Lex extremely well, especially Skeppy like at the Spring Land. So, you know, if they can pull that out again, give them their comfort champs. You know, maybe Andro and Andro or Lex, so that'd be good. Wonderful. Keep that flexing, okay? Try to run triple DPS as much as possible because that is when you guys do the best. Triple DPS is kind of coming back into the meta. Some people say it never left, but we know the cheese meta. You can run the double support with the Saris if you are able to or feel confident enough. I feel confident that Wonderful will perform very well on the Saris if they run the double support and put her on the Soul Collector damage. But I think that Wonderful is a great frontline, but I think that he has fallen off in the frontline department because his play in the triple DPS is so strong. And I believe that if Onslaught can pull the triple DPS out, odds are that they'll bring home a victory. Then we have Trenzik. Trenzik, no more time for mistakes. You've grown up. You've stepped up a lot recently. You're not young. You're not a young player anymore. You're not that young meatloaf talent. Okay, you've been molded into a nice little hamburger. You're still making some rookie plays here and there with your ultimates and stuff like that, but they're very rare now. Very rarely do I see you pull those out. And you've grown a lot, so you have to step up and you have to be able to maintain that composure and make sure that you don't fall back into that rookie making mistakes. Moving over to Team Cryptic here, Dovahkiin. Okay? Give Dovahkiin Ruckus and allow him to create some space. Give Dovahkiin Ruckus and allow him to just ult the foreheads. Okay? Kev Falcon, you don't have Bishop anymore, so you need to step up. You are going to be the man playing the hit scans. I know Soldier will play some of the hit scans like the flanks, like Talus and such. Or, you know, if you grab a Kinessa, it'll probably be Soldier Bot as well, or the Strix maybe. I don't know how you guys will be doing this with Bishop not in the lineup anymore. But if Bishop is gone, Kevin, you got to step up. On some of the hit scans, yes. On your blasters, most definitely. You're going to have to step up. You're going to have to carry this team. If you have to break out the pip frags, break out the pip frags by all means. One of the best pips in the PCL, so There we go. Soldier Bot, don't let the ego get in the way. Okay, Soldier? You and I both know you can let that happen. So don't do that. Remain calm, keep composure, and you'll perform very fairly well. And don't forget, this is not revenge. Okay? Don't go out there seeking revenge. Revenge is sweet when thought upon, but sour when acted. Okay? And Koga might be dead because of his nerf. You guys will be getting that patch. So grab the Talus instead. If you still feel confident on the Koga, then by all means, play the Koga. Koala, grab a Nara. That's about it. GC2MT, time to step up and show why you're the only NA support in most of the league leader categories. Okay, you came to me on the podcast. You know, you brought your A game in the talk game. Now it's time to bring your A game in the play game. Okay, so you got to step up. You got to lead this team. You've been a great leader so far. You and Kev and Dovahkiin on the play side, but you and Kev on the veteran side, I would say. So you guys got to step it up. Let's move over to Onii-Chaners versus Elevate here. So we got Atomic Boom for Onii-Chaners. You've qualified for 3 lands. You've made it to 2 lands physically, okay? So you're now the leader of this team. You're the leader of this team, Boom. All right? So bring your current tank play. Most recently, you've been playing front lines really well, but bring your old DPS days back, okay? The aim settings are fixed. Bring your old DPS days back. Bring those back, okay? That's when you fragged. The other Shutter, you're one of the most improved players this season. Okay, so you need to show why you deserve a LAN as a player, not as a sub, not as a coach. You need to prove why you deserve a LAN as a player. Alrighty, Knives. Neil, you got to carry your team. Carry your team, okay? This is the reason why. You got to silence the haters and the doubters, okay? Are you a top support on console? Okay, if you need motivation, think about all the times I've said bad things about you, Neil, on the show, on the podcast, in my stream, whenever, whatever. I believe you're a top support on console now, but you didn't hear me say that, okay? You suck, all right? So are you a top support on console? Silence the haters. Carry your team, okay? Next question, Neil. Were you carried by Elevate in the summer LAN? Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong, okay? That's what you need to do. Carry your team. Prove them wrong. Silence the haters and doubters. Okay? Next question, Neil. Were you last resort for Onslaught in the spring LAN? Silence your haters. Step it up. Okay? That's what you're here to do. Everyone wants to ask these questions about you. Everyone wants to talk this nonsense. Don't respond to them. Don't mean them. Don't put your little SpongeBob picture in there. Okay? Silence them. Win. Carry your team. That's how you do it. All right? Tommy Jet. You need to play your front line like you play your DPS. Beastly. Okay? And here's a question for you. Do you mouse and keyboard, Tommy? I know you've been accused of this. So here's the answer. You win this, okay? You carry your team to the victory no matter who your 5th person is, okay? And then you pull up the HRX with a controller and you frag out. How about that? That's how you do it, okay? I'm not accusing you of mouse and keyboard, by the way. You know I love you, Tommy. Shut everyone up. Just pull up HRX. So you got to get there, buddy. You got to get there, all right? And if you need to grab a sniper, do it. And then for the 5th person, because I don't know who it is, so I made some keys of victory with the 5th person for universal 5th, okay? It's show up and do your part. Don't try to be a freaking hero, man. Okay? And don't get the LAN nerves and ego. The keys of victory for Elevate, you got QT Shu. Make your callouts and be the Valencia Shu. Ying is back in the meta. Okay? That's all I got to say. Kyle Conrad. Stay alive, create the peel, prove you're the best player on console. A lot of people have called you that, so prove it, okay? And grab the triple DPS when you're able to, because we like seeing you frag on that Zen. GR, you're a quiet guy, okay? We met at HRX. It was very brief. You just looked at me while I said stuff to you, and then you walked away. All right, you're a quiet guy. So make noise with your play, especially your hit scans. You're Victor. You're Vivian. So let's get it. Remember that feeling you had on the stage at HRX last time. You want to reach that again. Sir James Parker, wear your finest Crocs, sir. Lord Parker, wear your finest Crocs on this day. That's what you need to do. Oh, also go BK, Drogo, Ceres, or Sniper. Those are your strongest champs. So make sure you can pull those out and do something big. All right. You went from DPS to a flex. It's time to show us why you did that. Okay. And why you are the best flex. So show us something. And also don't feed. You have like the most deaths on your team. FYI. And whoosh. Grab Makoa and just grab the enemy. All right. You grab Koa and then you grab the enemy. All right. Whoosh. One of the best Makoas there is. So if you're able to grab Makoa for him, that's a big ups. And do what you do best on the tanks. Keep that synergy with Shu from the past. You've played with him at the Summerland. You've played with him when you didn't qualify for spring. And you played with him on Blight. And you played with him on Strictly Business. So you guys got this little duo synergy going. Keep that up. Okay. All right. Here we go. Predictions. I know you guys want the predictions. So here we go. Blues picks. Onslaught versus Team Cryptic. I got Onslaught winning 2-1. Only because hit scans are going to be strong. Cryptic got outdrafted in week 3 when they played them. And if you got outdrafted when the meta was cheese, you cannot get outdrafted in now. And the aim settings have been updated. Skeppy and Cool Matt, dominant heroes if they can aim. Or dominant players when they can aim. For Elevate versus Onii-Chaners. Okay, so I'm going to put this 3 ways. If Onii-Chaners had Swiper, they win. Okay? If Onii-Chaners grab Objection, they will win. They grab anybody else but the 3 that I named. Or the 2 that are left from what I named. Elevate wins 2-1. Now, calm down. Because if Elevate wins 2-1, they have to play a best of 1 afterwards. Reason being is because they'll both be 5-1. Then they'll have to go to map differential. They'll both be 11-3. Best of 1. I think Elevate makes LAN. If Objection or Swiper were in that lineup for Onii-Chaners, I'm going for Onii-Chaners. So end of season 1. End of season 1. We're going to be doing an all-star ballot a couple days after the season ends. So look out for that. Vote for your favorite players. Vote for your teammates, whatever it may be. We're going to do an all-star ballot again, this time with only the PCL players. So that will be cool. Season 1 awards. So first week of November, we will announce the awards. The PCLC, again, the Paladins Console League Committee that I created, will be voting for players for each award, like MVP, Best Rookie of the Season, things like that. So look out for those. And all stats and league leaders will be made public. So everybody will be able to see the stats throughout the entire season. They're private until the end of the season. End of the season, boom, they will all be made public. So, yeah, that's all I got for the show today. Thanks, everyone. I'm sorry the show was late. Again, the power went out. Someone hit a telephone pole on my street, so I had to wait until they sent a crew out to fix that. Yeah, keep grinding. There may or may not be a podcast tomorrow. I don't know yet. Let's see. Later.